The New Mexico Legislature's Courts, Corrections, and Justice Committee held interim hearings this week. On Monday, the Department of the Public Safety's Greg Farrat told the committee that forcible rape and robbery have gone up in recent years. Not only are those statistics bad for attracting business to our state, but the cost of incarcerating those arrested for those crimes is an economic burden, especially on New Mexico's county jails. Our line opinion panelists are here to talk about this and other important topics of the week. I'm joined today by Daniel Foley, former New Mexico House Minority Whip, Sophie Martin, an attorney and editor at DukeCityFix.com. Dee Dee Feldman is back. She's a former New Mexico State Senator and author of Inside the New Mexico Senate. And Tom Garrity with the Garrity Group PR is here. Now, Dee Dee, the Courts, Corrections, and Justice Committee also heard from a task force charged with recommending clinically appropriate housing options for individuals with serious mental illness who are in custody and county detention in order to address the problem of jails becoming de facto mental health hospitals for the state. Upwards of 35% they're predicting of folks have mental health issues or taking psychotropic drugs to calm these things while in jail. What is the fundamental problem here when it comes to the counties? Because it seems clear to me that they've been talking about this for quite a number of years. What's the hang up here on the money?
Money. They don't have enough money to deal with all of these inmates that are there, in spite of the fact that there's a law that they're supposed to be funded by the state to take care of people that are, at least temporarily, on probation and parole and in transit to state facilities, and they don't have the money.
Those particular things you just mentioned, that's part of the crux of it, isn't it? That's part of the holding pattern a lot of these folks find themselves in.
Yes, and the conditions in our county jails have been cited as really abusive in the past. Right. And so, you know, criminal defense attorneys, the families of people who are in jail are, you know, really caught in a system that delays justice, and the counties are caught, you know, holding the bag because they don't have enough money, and they keep coming to the state, and the state keeps promising them money and doesn't deliver. So I have sympathy for the counties.
It's interesting, Sophie, one of the things Senator Feldman just mentioned, the delay, that word delay. Sometimes we're, you know, as the reporting on Santa Fe Reporter, we're talking serious delays for some people sitting in jail waiting for justice.
Serious
Amazing.
delays,
Yeah.
serious delays, and it's, you know, it's interesting to see. We have, especially lately, you know, we have this phenomenal thirst for incarceration. Yep. That seems to be the solution in this community to just about anything. And there are certainly circumstances where we see individuals who we really wish had not been let out on bail. We really wish had not been released, and we don't necessarily look at all of the people who are not violent criminals. You know, we're talking about people with mental illness as well, who if they were getting proper medication, would be able to, you know, show up for their trial dates and do all of that kind of stuff. Our courts, our jails, our justice system in general is woefully underfunded. I mean, in our current budget, the courts are less than 3% of the budget. And we say, less than 3%, and we say, we want faster from the courts, we want more from the courts, we want faster from the police, we want more from the police, we want faster from public defenders and prosecutors. And we want all of that for nothing. We want to spend no money on it, which is crazy. Now, on top of that, I just want to point out, Albuquerque City Council on Monday is going to take up a proposal, is going to look at an ordinance that would essentially criminalize panhandling, such that if you are caught twice panhandling in New Mexico, you are subject to up to a $500 fine, which good luck paying that out of panhandling funds, and up to 90 days in jail.
Wow.
So now we're talking about putting more people in prisons instead of perhaps providing them decent public services.
That's amazing. Didn't we go down this road once before? I seem to remember City Council years ago, there was like a 3-foot rule or something. You couldn't, you know, get within a 3 foot of a homeless person couldn't get within 3 foot of somebody else or touch them, something along those lines. The money issue that Sophie brings up, I mean, it gets down to the crux of it. I can't wait to hear Dan talk about this too. I have another question on this as well. It seems to me it's a fairly simple fix here, right? I mean, the legislature convenes, this is the problem. We've got almost all agreement from the county, all the counties across the state saying we can't deal with this problem. Do we have an easy fix here coming up in the next
Well,
session?
it would appear there's an easy fix. I mean, you know, there's you always have the funding that comes out. That's, you know, the House and the Senate both come up with their own little funding mechanisms, and then it finally makes its way to the fourth floor. And that's really where you know, different items with justice system has really kind of met the veto pen, so to speak.
Yeah.
There's been a pattern, yeah.
But you know, I have to give credit though to the New Mexico Association of Counties, who's really spearheading the effort this time. And you know, the approach that they're taking as far as getting the resolutions from each of the county commissions, it's going to be good backing for those legislatures, and you know, hopefully it'll have some impact on the fourth floor when some of those vetoes are made or not made.
When you were in the state legislature, would things like that made a difference to you and how you saw the situation? The county commission folks coming to you say in mass saying we have a problem?
Because,
no, okay.
And the reason not really is because they got their following. Here's the problem you got. It sounds great when we talk about it here in a vacuum, but the same county commissioners are going to be before the legislators for 400 requests. You know, the Chaves County people are going to go talk to the Chaves County people about roads, jails, hospitals, sheriff's department. I mean, go down the list. So, you know, you start having, whether we like it or not, you got to start a priority of funding and figure out where the money's going to go. Clearly, there's a problem of crisis proportion in New Mexico. We have an inordinate amount of nonviolent criminals serving time in prison in this state. There's no doubt about it. Our mental health system in this state is inadequate. Is a nice thing to say about it. You know, we've got the legislature thinking they're going to fix it, the cities and counties thinking they're going to fix it, the Supreme Court throws itself in and says we're going to do this speedy trial rule and throw people out of jail as quick as we can. It's just the whole system is busted, and the whole system needs to be fixed from the ground up. The problem is and we've talked about it today, is that the counties are the frontline guys.
That's right.
I mean, they're the sheriffs and the city police departments are the ones that are arresting someone, and they're finding out that that person's got a warrant for their arrest. It's a warrant for their arrest in Albuquerque. He's wanted for a violent crime in Albuquerque, and he winds up sitting in Chaves County Jail for 6, 7, 8 months. The other thing that people don't talk about is he gets transported 3 or 4 times, and they won't accept him. Well, we can't take them today. Well, we got too many people. Well, so they got to turn around and drive them back to Chaves County. And on top of all of that, while they're there, all of the health care, dental, everything else that's got to be provided is absolutely draining the counties because they're getting none of this money back from the state. And, you know, I've said before when I was in the legislature, we can't do it, but what I advocated is, you know, Chaves County, when I represented Chaves County and Lincoln County had these problems, I said, load them all up in the van, drive to the state prison, knock on the front door, open the door, and let them go. And tell the state prison, it's your problem. You deal with it. You know, but as long as they keep incarcerating them and not forcing the state to pay what they should be paid for, they're not going to fix the problem.
And that brings us all back to the mental health issues. If you've got 35% of your population needing services for mental health issues, something has to be carved out, it seems to me.
Right, and in other states they're doing this. There are pre-diversion projects for people with mental illness. And they are going in an opposite direction than the current trend, which is, you know, lock them up and throw away the key and we'll send you the bill.
Do you sense something? We've got a potential new 3 strikes law that's going to be on the table. We've got new hate crime wrinkles for law enforcement. We've got people planning things in the legislature. Your sense of how this is going to be heard in this upcoming session? Do you have a sense of that? Are people going to be sensitive to this issue for the counties? Or is it going to be getting in line, everyone else is hurting for money either?
It's been 20 years.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Well, I have a little bit different perspective. I think the Association of Counties does have power in the legislature.
Okay.
And they do have a long laundry list, it's true, but it's an important laundry list. Think about how many legislators are former county commissioners, former magistrate judges, have come up from the local level. So, I mean, I think that gives them some clout, but I hope it doesn't become a partisan issue, and it's just threatens to do so with one side trying to be more tough on crime than the other, and the governor, as Tom said, vetoing some of the funding for the courts because she's not liking the Democratic judges and so on. That's held us back.
But historically it hasn't. To be honest, Senator, historically it hasn't been a partisan issue. It's really been more a rural-urban issue. You know, it's been a very, I mean, it's, you know, Albuquerque, Bernalillo County has its problems. There's no doubt about it. But you will find Deming and Chaves County and Otero County legislators who are both Republicans and Democrats will all get together and say, you're not giving enough money. And it's almost like, I hate to use the analogy, but kind of like the milk subsidy. You know, the reason we got all the dairies down here is we're that far away from Wisconsin, and it's a distance deal. Sure. It's the same with this problem with the courts and with the jails. You got this transportation cost from Hobbs to Albuquerque, Hobbs to Santa Fe, Roswell, Cruces. So the further you get away from the big state prisons, the more the money is an issue. And I don't think it's so much that it's a partisan issue. I think it's another example of the rural versus urban issue.
By the way, it's called the Detention Facilities Reimbursement Act, passed in 2007. I completely forgot the name of that.
I'm not sure that I'm not sure that I totally agree with Dan's statement that it's not a partisan issue. I think it has been used as a partisan issue in recent months. And I've been particularly frustrated seeing our district attorney, our police force, our mayor turn and blame the Supreme Court for a rule which Dan actually brought up a little while ago, a rule about speedy trials, which those groups participated in crafting. They helped to set those deadlines, and they're now saying it's too short. Well, there's a productive way to say it's too short, let's work on this together, and there's a not productive way, which I think was what we're seeing, which is to say, I'm going to blame you in your party, I'm going to blame you in your party, and then we're all going to turn around and blame the court.
Let's watch this one for sure. Sorry, Tom. Up next, Mayor Richard Berry is in our studio to talk about reforms in the Albuquerque Police Department. Sorry about that.